Hey, it's the C Space Studio here at CES 2026. I'm James Kotecki, and we are joined by LG Electronic USA's Chief Marketing Officer, Louis Giagrande. Louis, welcome to the C Space Studio.
Thank you, James. Pleasure to be here.
Okay, so LG Electronics USA, there's probably a handful of companies that if I think CES and who's going to have a massive presence and show up at CES, LG is going to be one of them.
Yep.
So tell us about what you're doing here at CES 2026.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, we're always one of the best parts about working at LG is we're always going to come out swinging when it comes to innovative products and buzzworthy innovations. So this year is no different. We have our wallpaper TV, which is just some incredible technology. It's the thinnest OLED TV, truly wireless. It's like a pencil thin, and the speaker's built into the screen. It's incredible, and it just like beautifully accents any room. So things like that, all the way.
I'm looking around this fake living room, and I'm thinking about places we can put it.
That's great. Like things like our sound suite, new soundbar entertainment system. It's another first of its kind because of the Dolby Atmos Flex Connect integration. But what I think is so awesome is that it really allows consumers to set up their surround sound system in rooms that were typically not very conducive to set up. So like different dimension rooms, sometimes you'd have to put speakers in places where the sweet spot of the sound wasn't necessarily where you were sitting. This really accounts for that and make sure that the people in the room are getting the best audio experiences. So just straight down the line. Even we had a Best of Innovation award for our in-vehicle solutions displays, from our vehicle solutions group. So top to bottom, it's always fun. Yeah.
Well, let's peel back the curtain a little bit. What's it like to be leading as a marketer at CES every year? As I said, LG, I expect them to show up in a big way, but that also means you're expected to show up in a big way, right? So there's pressure every year to come here to the world's most powerful tech event and present some really powerful technology. As a marketer, as a leader, how do you plan for that, and how do you think about your year?
Yeah, well, it's funny because you're 100% right. There's a ton of pressure. Our engineers are really always up for the task. It's the one again. As a marketer, you can't ask for anything more than just killer products to market, right?
That helps.
But what also adds to the pressure is the strategic pillar around how we build our innovations is something we call human-centered innovation, which is we don't just innovate products for the sake of innovation. It's like really they have to ask themselves, are we addressing a consumer need, a consumer pain point? Are we doing something that's going to benefit the consumer? So so many of our products are not only innovative but addressing real solutions. That adds a little extra pressure for engineers. But again, thankfully, because we're always very conscious and always listening to consumers, that there's probably a laundry list of things they want to do and get to when it comes to this. But you're right. We start thinking about CES 2027 in 2 days.
Yeah, absolutely. No breaks at all. Yeah. Tell me about how AI is. So we could talk about AI from a number of different dimensions. You're welcome to talk about how it's built into your products. But I'm also curious, because this is the C Space Studio talking to marketing, branding leaders, how it is benefiting you and your work and your team's work.
So I mentioned earlier, like the foundation of how we build our products. The fact that this has to be human-centered innovation. But a couple of years ago, we laid out a mission that we're going to transform our company from not just a hardware company into what we're calling a smart life solutions company. And what that really means is making sure we're going from a good product experience to a multiple product integrated, smart experience that not only is realizing the smart home vision, but even going beyond the home. So AI is really helping us, become that smart home solutions company by allowing us to get our products to really service the consumers in ways that we couldn't do in the past.
So kind of linking up maybe different individual entities to create a synthesized experience?
Exactly, and then becoming very much an agent of the consumer, so helping consumers, like our appliances, for example, with our new set of appliances with cameras in the oven, looking at making sure we're browning the croissants in the way the consumer wants. It's just, these are things that AI is helping us to enable.
And tell me about how that interaction looks. You mentioned agents. Are there increasingly chat-based interfaces or maybe even proactive ways that AI is reaching out to people in a more agentic way?
Are you talking about like how are we using, like how are we learning from the our AI chatbots when it comes to our integrated?
Sure, yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so well, I think as I mentioned before, when it comes to how we're building this smart life solution, we have a very, very robust voice of consumer listening thing. And what we're hearing from consumers, that comes across in the chat box and several different ways, that while AI is amazing and it's enabling some incredible things, there is some consumer skepticism, consumer concerns, basically boiled down into privacy. Consumers don't want to trade privacy for additional enhancements. It's about ease of use and making sure we're not overcomplicating things. It almost like a lot of consumers have that concern about reliability. Like, why are you putting AI in my oven just to tell me is that going to mean it's going to break down? So we have to be conscious of that, and control. Control is a big part, right? And so consumers don't want to lose control. Even if we start thinking about proactive solutions or proactive feature enhancements, we always have to keep the consumer in control of that. And that's coming through in a lot of different ways, especially you brought up chatbots, the questions, the engagements that we're seeing from consumers and our AI like agent appliances. It's never like, just do it.
Yeah.
It's like, help us do it.
As we were talking before we started the official conversation, you've been in this role for a few years.
Yeah.
Have you seen, even in that short time, consumer attention patterns shifting? And where do you think the shift is going from here?
So absolutely. It's what's interesting is from a marketing standpoint, we've been. It used to be like your videos are now consumers are asking for like 15-second videos. Just tell me, So on one hand, as a marketer, you're like really drilling down your content in the quick, really easily digestible, bite-sized pieces, and then but the LLMs are more like long format needs. So you find yourself as a marketer being in two different worlds, right? We have to, like you said, the attention span of consumers, of humans in general, just with the way the world works, it's getting shorter and shorter. So how do you get your message out there in these nice digestible ways, but at the same time, with AI being such an important part of consumers' lives, we also need to be feeding the LLMs these long-form content to get the message out.
And it's weird, I feel my attention span getting shorter and shorter, and yet once in a while I'm really interested in watching a 4-hour YouTube essay on some topic that I'm really interested in going deep on. So there's that factor out there as well. Yeah. Maybe I should be watching it on one of these wallpaper TVs.
Well, you definitely should, but I totally understand what you're saying. It's but that's good. It means you don't want to lose that. You always want to have deep dives every now and then.
Let's bring retail media into the conversation. How is that kind of data guiding your approach to consumer engagement and where you might do an ad spend?
Yeah, so we have fantastic relationships with our retail partners, and we fully embrace and glad that they want to sort of move on from being just a retailer to now a media property, right? So, and we have some very shared goals of delivering consumers with personalized experience, messages that are relevant to them, experiences that are relevant to them. So, different retailers are at different points in their maturation process in terms of becoming a media partner. But, anytime you can find ways to deliver more personalized, beneficial, data-driven, really consumer benefit-driven experiences, you want to, do it. So we love working with retailers on that, and I think it's an area that will only grow in the future.
I want to tie my last question into what you mentioned at the beginning of this interview about the products that you're showcasing here at CES 2026, with a question about content, because this is the C-Space studio. And I'm always curious about the relationship between, okay, there's new kinds of screens, there's new ways of displaying content. How does that then feed back into what people actually create to go on those screens? Do you see what you're doing now as a potential influence on content of the future that might be created?
Yeah, and or even the other way around, or should we be thinking of the screens we're putting it on adapting to the content?
Yes,
right?
100%.
So that's the balance that you're talking about. An example, just going back to earlier where we talk about the in-car experience, like once once self-driving or automated driving becomes a reality, now your car just becomes another room in your life,
Yeah.
So how do you engage that? And you see, like, so in that sense, we are in vehicle solutions. Someone could be looking out the window, see something, capture it, and then now they're delivering content about what they just passed. So I think it's the forms are going to have to be flexible in terms of how the content is delivered, but I think it's even just how you're responding, delivering content based on real life experiences is going to be very interesting as we move forward.
Well, thanks for joining us and sharing your experiences with us.
Pleasure.
LG Electronics USA's Louis Giagrande. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching us here in the C-Space studio at CES 2026. I'm James Kotecki with more after this very short break.